Hello, I'm Lee, and this week on NASA Now, we'll learn how the GLORY satellite will provide NASA scientists with vital information they need in the study of climate change. But before we get to that, let's find out what else is happening at NASA Now. The GLORY satellite is soon to join the A-Train satellite constellation, further helping scientists gain a comprehensive understanding of climate change. GLORY joins the A-Train satellite constellation just as Parasol, one of the current members of the A-Train, is slowing down, which will eventually bring it back to Earth. The Parasol satellite has now reached an orbit of 3.9 kilometers beneath the A-Train. It will continue to send data until it's out of range at the end of 2012. Climate change is one of the hottest topics on people's minds, and there are a lot of opinions on this controversial issue. Here to give us NASA's scientific perspective on climate change, as well as a description of the special equipment being carried on the GLORY satellite, is Dr. Hal Maring, physical scientist, GLORY mission at NASA headquarters in Washington, D.C.
My name is Hal Maring. I'm a physical scientist at NASA headquarters, and I'm the program scientist for the GLORY mission. Climate change is important. The consequences of climate change can be very, very serious. For example, rainfall patterns are going to change. People who live in dry places like Southern California or Arizona or New Mexico will have to make do with less water. On the other hand, places in the tropics that have potential issues with seasonal flooding due to heavy rainfall may see that get worse. One of the important reasons why we're launching the GLORY satellite is because it'll have an instrument called the Total Irradiance Monitor on it. This is an instrument that measures the energy output of the sun. And that's important because the sun's energy is power that drives our weather and climate. And so when we launch the GLORY satellite, we'll be able to look at the variability of the sun's output with the reliable accuracy and precision of this new satellite instrument. Launched into what we call the A-Train, and this is a collection of satellites that's orbiting the Earth. Right now, the A-Train has a number of sensors in it, but nothing like GLORY. And many of the sensors in the A-Train make measurements of what's on the surface of the Earth, water vapor, for instance, and atmospheric composition. But the GLORY satellite will make better measurements of these atmospheric aerosols, and we will get a more complete picture of what's going on in the Earth system. When we talk about the Earth system, the sort of big picture view is lithosphere. That's the soil and the rocks. Atmosphere, hydrosphere, that's oceans and lakes and rivers. And the biosphere, that's everything that's living. A good working definition of an aerosol is a small particle made up of liquid and or solid, suspended in the air and ranging in size from a few molecules up to a few hundred micrometers. And a micrometers is something you can see with your eye. It's a little bit thicker than a human hair. One of the things we need to do is to understand which aerosols come from which sources. They come from burning of fossil fuels, they come from deserts, they come from the sea, when bubbles burst at the surface of the ocean. They come from wildfires when forests burn. One of the best ways to sort out which aerosol is which is to know what it's made of. And GLORY is the first of our satellites that's going to give us the ability to make inferential measurements of the composition of these aerosols.
Did you know the primary difference between weather and climate is time? That's right. Atmospheric conditions over a short time, from minutes to months, we call weather. While climate is how the atmosphere behaves over relatively long periods of time, like decades and centuries. Now you know.
Now it's time to check out what's up.
The next time you look up in the sky, check out the clouds and see if you can identify them. For more information on cloud types, go to this website where you'll find lots of useful information. That's science-edu.larc.nasa.gov/all uppercase SCOOL.
Today we learned that NASA plays a huge role in the study of Earth's climate. We also learned that there are ways you can make a positive change in Earth's climate. Check out these resources and activities on the NASA Explorer School's virtual campus.
What are some of the ways you can help reduce greenhouse gases? We want to know. Send us your ideas on how you can make a difference. Email us at nasa-explorer-schools@mail.nasa.gov. We're anxious to see your ideas.
Well, that's it for NASA Now. Be sure to tune in next week when we focus on the mechanics of guidance, navigation, and flight control. And we'll learn more about the amazing technology involved with the Space Shuttle program when we venture from Earth to orbit and back. We'll see you then on NASA Now.
NASA Now comes to you from the virtual campus at NASA Explorer Schools.